Hello everyone, welcome to another motovlog on my channel. My name is Marshall3498, and today's motovlog, as it typically is on my channel, is going to be motorcycle related. And this is a topic that I stumbled upon on a podcast that I listened to, and kind of a subtopic of this, and what a lot of people don't know who want to get into motorcycles: are motorcycles cheap? Short answer is, and I'll explain why, is absolutely not. Everything for motorcycles is expensive. Tires are expensive. Even if you buy good, like Michelin tires, a sport touring tire, long-lasting tire, you're going to get, depending on the bike, depending on how you ride it, depending on the road conditions, how rough or aggressive the road is, you're going to get 10,000, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Like I said, just depends on a lot of variables. Oil changes, even if you do yourself, like I do, for typical off-the-shelf full synthetic motorcycle oil, doesn't really matter what brand. If they're for a wet clutch system or they have to have the special additive, it's anywhere from $9 to $15 a quart, depending on what's got sale. This bike takes 4.5 quarts plus the filter, so you're looking at $60 for an oil change at least. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Like I said, your average car oil change, even if you use full synthetic, maybe $20 cheaper than that, just for an oil change. Yes, most motorcycles, depending on the size of it, get good gas mileage. That is one kind of offset of them. Even though the maintenance costs of bikes are, of all the main things, are pretty expensive. If your bikes, if you don't put that in the equation of it, you can ride a lot, a Sunday afternoon, a Saturday, whatever. You ride a couple hundred miles just for, take a gas, or maybe a little more, depending on the mileage your bike gets. My bike that I'm riding here, 16 Yamaha FJR 1300, gets mid 40s to high 40s, and that's without me really riding it that aggressive. I mean, I ride a fairly modest pace. I don't really ride any different now as I'm doing right now as when the camera's not on, to be honest. Just kind of enjoy the thrill of the ride, not necessarily riding fast, that's for sure. Yeah, they're not cheap to operate. They might be if you live in a rural, maybe if you go like smaller CC 125 and under scooter, where they get like 100 miles a gallon. Yeah. If you live in a big city like New York or San Francisco or something like that, yeah, they might be, because there you can, at least in California, you can lane split, so you can get through some traffic a lot easier. But caveat is your extreme ranges of temperature, so it's kind of a negative in a way, I guess, to look at it. When it's really cold, it's really cold. When it's really hot, it's really hot. When it's raining, guess what? You get wet. Regardless if you're riding Gore-Tex riding gear or not, you're still gonna have some spots of leaking water around your neck, stuff like that. It's just part of it. But a lot of people enjoy the pastimes of riding. It's one of my hobbies. Yes, it's not cheap, but it's something that I've thoroughly enjoyed for, this is my 5th riding season. And I'll be riding a bike till I'm not physically able to, that's for sure. And even then, I'll get something similar, at least motorcycle experience, we'll say. But not only that too, but getting into motorcycling, I do know that the initial cost of getting in, buying your first bike, buying ride gear, taking your test, registering a bike, insurance, all that stuff. It's none of it's cheap, but is it worth it? Absolutely, 100% yes. Even if I urge somebody, even if you've not tried to ride a motorcycle, I urge somebody, and I've said this on previous videos before, in some of my beginner series thing I kind of did for a little while earlier this year. Even if you've not ridden a motorcycle ever, even if you just want to try it, buy a decent helmet, and just some basic riding gear. Most MSF courses don't even require like motorcycle specific boots or anything like that, like a work boot or something like that if you've already got a hold of that. or something, blue jeans, a long sleeve t-shirt, a jacket, and just regular just gloves, They just want your hands to be somewhat protected, at least if you fall. But I urge somebody, if they've never tried it, to at least go out and just go take the MSF course. If nothing else, if you don't like it, you've only wasted the money on the helmet and the cost of the class. But you might find yourself like I did after that, really hooked, that's for sure. I, for one, like I said, I'll ride till I'm physically not able to. But the cost of ownership is not cheap. The cost of getting in is not cheap. The cost of continue riding, yes, is a little less once you have all the riding gear figured out, what works best for you and all your different climates and stuff. But, like I said, it's not cheap. It's not for everyone. But is it thoroughly enjoyable? Absolutely it is. Like I said, if you've not done it, at least take the test. You might hate it after you take the test. You might drop the bike in the parking lot and have a bad experience. It might scare you off, and that's okay. Because everybody has their limits and their limitations. And, if you're not comfortable on it, don't get on it. It's that simple. But eventually with time, like I did, after taking the course and doing some back roads and just getting familiar with riding, where you can focus on more all the morons around you who are on their phones or doing makeup or God knows what in traffic. Believe me, I've seen it all, especially where I grew up. You might find yourself that you absolutely enjoy it, and that's all, that may take over one hobby for the next. Yes, it's dangerous. Yes, it's not cheap. But it's totally worth it. There's worse things to be addicted to. And, I've done several hobbies of mine growing up in my younger adult life. And this is by far the one I've got the most enjoyment out of. But I'd rather, live my life the way I want to live it and do what I want to do and enjoy it while I'm here, if nothing else. That's what I always say. When I was like 25, I wanted to bike then, and I kind of talked myself out of it. I thought, well, what if I get hurt? What if I lay the bike down? And then it come to a point in my life, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to do it. So that's all I got to say and on that, basically that topic today, guys. Sorry for the rambling on a little bit, but it's just kind of the way my motovlog style is. I just kind of speak from the heart and let it roll. So sorry about the sun and eyes. Every time I try to go riding on a different route to try to keep this from happening, it just blinds the whole camera. It's kind of a bad time of year to try to do motovlogs in the fall. But on that, guys, thanks for watching. Ride safe. Have fun. If you've not already done so, please subscribe and turn on the bell. Leave a comment down below if there's anything I can help you with. I'll be more than happy to. On that, guys, ride safe. Have fun. We'll see you on the next one. See ya.